One of the great inspirations of this war has been the goodwill with which soldiers, sailors, and airmen of differing nationalities have combined their efforts for the accomplishment of a common object.
First, I had to change from a civilian to a soldier. Then I had to change from a soldier to a killer.
Hello, I'm Dr. George Cressman. I'm the staff historian here at the Camp Landing Museum. We're grateful that you've watching another Camp Landing history video with us. Today I'm going to be telling you about the 79th Infantry Division. The 79th Infantry Division had served in both World War I and World War II. 79th was activated in August of 1917 and moved to France during World War I. And during the First War, the 79th did all of its fighting in the French province of Lorraine, the province which the U.S. had pledged to win back in its entirety for France. Following the armistice ending World War I, Major General Joseph E. Kuhn proposed that the division adopt the Cross of Lorraine as the symbol for the 79th Infantry Division. Returning to the U.S., the division was deactivated and then reactivated in June of 1942. The division arrived at Camp Landing in September of 1942, trained there until the 3rd of March, 1943. The division departed the Boston port of embarkation on the 7th of April, 1944, arriving in England on the 16th of April in 1944, where it continued to train. The 79th then crossed the English Channel and landed on Utah Beach on the 14th of June, 1944, a very short time after the Normandy assault. The division had very little time to settle in France. Its first combat began on 19 June, 5 days after arriving, with an attack on the German-occupied port of Cherbourg. Hitler wanted to prevent the Allies from capturing a major port, and so he named Cherbourg a fortress, meaning it was to be defended to the very last man, the very last round. The 79th captured Cherbourg's outer defenses on the 20th of June, and then launched an attack on the port itself on the 22nd of June, 1944. The battle raged to the late June, and in the battle, the division captured over 2,000 German prisoners of war. This map will show you the combat route of the 79th as they moved across the European theater of operations. From the landing beaches on Utah and the subsequent battle for Cherbourg, the combat route was just beginning. Following the battle for Cherbourg, the 79th held division defensive positions until the 2nd of July, 1944. The division then moved west onto the Cotentin Peninsula, took a small town called La Haye-du-Puy, and again the fighting was intense. The division was able to fight off 2 German counterattacks on the 8th of July, 1944. The men then took an additional set of small towns, swept past Le Mans, and established a bridgehead over the Seine River on the 20th August, 1944. The Germans strongly counterattacked that bridgehead, but the division was able to fight off those attacks all through the end of August, from the 22nd to the 27th of August. Through September, the 79th moved north in France, moving briefly into Belgium. Sharp combat followed as the division moved east, pushing into the Alsace-Lorraine area. As the 79th moved east in France, it fought a particularly sharp battle in the Parry forest. The division reached the forest in late September, and as it moved into the forest, one regiment was cut off. In an all-out divisional attack, the Germans were forced out, and the forest finally cleared on the 9th of October, 1944. After a brief rest, the division continued fighting north of Strasbourg in the Alsace-Lorraine area, and was involved in pushing north into France. The division was involved in a long series of very sharp battles. In early December, the division took Haguenau, France, and an adjoining forest. The Germans had ammunition dumps in that forest, and so fought to recover both the town and the forest. The Germans were able to retake the town in January, and were not finally expelled until March of 1945. By that time, the 79th had been ordered to other battles.
Dass ich anständig meine Zeit verwendet habe im Dienste meines Volkes. Gib du jetzt deine Stimme ab. Wenn ja, dann tritt für mich ein, so wie ich für dich eingetreten bin.
The German offensive that we now call the Battle of the Bulge was not the last German offensive of World War II. Operation Nordwind, which began on New Year's Eve 1944, was that last battle. It was an attempt to retake Alsace-Lorraine. During January and early February, the 79th held defensive positions in the Alsace area, and then made a dramatic relief of the 42nd Infantry Division, a task force that had been cut off and isolated. As the German lines collapsed, the 79th continued to, the Germans continued to strongly resist the Allied advance. The 79th fought its way across the Rhine and into the Ruhr area. On the 7th of May, 1945, the day the hostilities in the European theater ended, the 79th was in Dortmund, providing security duty. The 79th amassed a most impressive combat record in World War II. 248 days in combat, 3 medals of honor, 13 Distinguished Service Crosses, 962 Silver Stars, and 4,916 Bronze Stars. So thanks for joining us for this video. We encourage you to do 2 things. First, we'd like you to come visit us at the museum. We've been sharing the stories of Camp Blanding and World War II. We have lots more of those stories, and we'd love to be able to share those with you. Come visit us at the museum. We're open every day from noon to 4. Second, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. You'll get an advance notice when new videos are posted. So for the Camp Blanding Museum staff and our volunteers, this is Dr. George Cressman signing off.